The forgotten race, the giant space station, floated in the middle of an old dying star system. Inside the station, the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was filled with dozens of alien leaders. They came from powerful empires and ancient species, each one believing they were the rulers of the galaxy. Tall, thin aliens with blue skin, short, thick ones with red eyes, creatures with scales, fur, and even beings made of living gas. All of them gathered to discuss matters of power, trade, and war. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the hall. The walls shook, and the lights dimmed for a moment. A giant screen appeared in front of the council members. Unknown signal detected. Sector E77, the AI voice announced. The council members looked at each other. An unknown signal? That was impossible. Every empire in the galaxy was registered and known. No one dared send an unmarked signal. Council leader Drevin, a tall, four-armed alien with golden skin, stood up. Which empire is it from? He demanded. Unknown. Origin, no match in records. The AI replied. Murmurs filled the room. Some laughed. Maybe it's pirates, one said. Or a broken probe, another added. But one voice did not laugh. It came from an old alien general named Vorkis. His skin was rough like stone, and his eyes held memories of old wars. Show me the signal. Vorkis growled. The screen changed. Strange symbols appeared, mixed with ancient letters. The council members didn't recognize it, but Vorkis did. His heart skipped a beat. It was the old language of humans. He turned toward the council. It's them. A silence fell over the room. Who? Drevin asked. Humans. The council erupted in laughter. Humans? They were exiled centuries ago, Drevin said. No one has seen them in over 300 cycles. Vorka's voice was low and cold. That's what we believed. But they are back. The younger council members shook their heads. Impossible. No one survives beyond the outer rim. But Vorkis remembered the stories. Long ago, humans had spread quickly across the stars. They were bold, curious, and dangerous. The other races grew jealous of their speed and power. Accused of crimes they didn't commit, the humans were blamed for a terrible disaster, and the council exiled them to the dead zones beyond known space. For generations, no one heard from them again. Their name was removed from records, their worlds abandoned. The galaxy believed they had died in the void. Now, this signal proved otherwise. We must send a fleet to investigate, Drevin ordered. I won't have ghost stories in my council. But Vorkis shook his head. If it's truly them, you don't send a fleet. You pray. Far away from the council, in the depths of the galaxy, a massive ship moved silently through a purple nebula. It was unlike anything seen before. A dark, metallic beast, shaped like a blade, moving without sound. The size of a small moon, but faster than any known vessel. Inside, humans walked through clean, gray corridors, their eyes sharp, their faces emotionless. They wore black uniforms marked with a silver star. In the command center, Commander Rylos stood before a giant window, watching the stars. Signal sent? He asked. Yes, Commander, an officer replied. The council has received it. Good, Rylos said. They should remember who they betrayed. He clenched his fist. Soon the galaxy will know we never died. We only waited. Back. At the Galactic Council, the unknown signal's final message appeared on the screen. Words written in Old Earth language and galactic script. We are back. The hall fell silent. Drevin swallowed hard. Can we trace the source? Only the general. Area, the AI answered. But something else. What? The screen zoomed out, showing the map of the galaxy. Slowly, dozens of small unknown markers appeared, all across the outer sectors. Multiple human signatures detected. Panic filled the room. These weren't just one or two ships. It was an entire network. Colonies, ships, fleets, all hidden. In the darkness. How long have they been there? Someone whispered .vork as closed his eyes. Too long. The council realized what it meant. The humans had not died. They had grown stronger, silently building their empire in the forgotten corners of the galaxy. And now, they were coming back. Asterisk humanity's dark past long ago. Before the name of humanity was erased from galactic records, the species of Earth was known across the stars. No other race had ever risen so quickly. In less than 300 cycles, humans spread to every corner of the galaxy. They were fearless explorers, brilliant engineers, and dangerous warriors. No planet was too deadly, no enemy too powerful for them. Wherever they went, they built cities, mined worlds, and made new allies. At first, the other alien empires welcomed them. Humans traded rare metals, shared medicines, and taught new farming methods. They fought side by side with other species in terrible wars against unknown monsters in the void. But as humanity's power grew, so did the fear in the hearts of the old empires. The Galactic Council, made up of ancient, proud races, began to feel threatened. Humans learned too fast. They built weapons the Council could not match. They discovered secrets in the void that other species had forgotten for thousands of years. Some empires tried to slow them down with unfair trade laws. Others spread lies, calling humans dangerous and violent. But nothing worked. Then came the great tragedy, the Shiranova disaster. A giant space station exploded near the galactic core, killing millions. The Council claimed a human warship was seen nearby. Although no solid proof existed, fear and jealousy blinded the leaders. In an emergency meeting, the Council voted. Humanity would be exiled. Their colonies would be abandoned, their name removed from records. Their history erased. The humans protested. They denied the crime. They begged for a fair trial. But no one listened. The alien fleets surrounded Earth's colonies and gave them one choice: leave the known galaxy forever or be destroyed. Most of humanity chose exile. The old stories tell of great human ships leaving one by one, traveling beyond the outer rim where no empire ruled, where ancient monsters and dead stars waited. The Council believed none would survive. For hundreds of cycles, no one saw or heard from them again. But there were always rumors. Small merchant ships claimed to see massive dark shapes moving through deep space. Ghost signals, faint, ancient. Human codes echoing through the void. Most aliens laughed at these stories. They said humans were long dead, but some, like General Vorkus, remembered. He had fought beside humans in the old wars. He knew their strength, their clever minds, their anger, and their promise. We never forget betrayal. Now with the strange signal reaching the Council once again, Vorkus realized the terrible truth. The humans had survived, and not just survived, they had built something far greater in the darkness. No longer held back by old Council laws, no longer slowed by politics and fear. Humanity had created an empire unknown to the galaxy. In the secret corners of space, they found ancient ruins left by forgotten races. They discovered old war machines floating between stars. They learned to bend space, to create weapons that tore holes in reality. Some old records even spoke of humans meeting creatures older than the galaxy itself, and winning. Now those humans were back, far beyond the edge of known space, in a place no alien dared travel. A fleet gathered. It was larger than anything the Galactic Council could imagine. Ships shaped like blades, like giant beasts, like floating cities of war. Their hulls were made of black metal that reflected no light. At the heart of the fleet stood a command ship known only as the Revenant. Inside its war room, Commander Rylos stood before a glowing star map. His sharp eyes studied the marked council. "Worlds," one of his officers spoke. "All colonies are in position, sir. We await your order." Raylos gave a cold smile. "The time has come. We send them a message." He raised his hand, pointing to the star system where the Galactic Council sat in arrogance. "Let them know their mistake." And as a small, silent human ship moved into position near the Council's world, carrying a simple message of warning, no one on the planet knew that history's forgotten race was about to rewrite the galaxy's fate. Rise of the Empire. The void beyond the outer rim was a place no one wanted to enter. It was dark, cold, and filled with dead stars. Ancient, broken ships floated silently, and strange creatures moved in the shadows. No empire had ever survived there, but humans did. When the exiled human ships first arrived, they were damaged, low on supplies, and filled with anger. Many thought they would die in the darkness. But humans were not like other species. They refused to give up. Led by a young officer named Rylos, the survivors searched for shelter. After weeks of travel, they found an old, forgotten planet, covered in mountains of black, stone and surrounded by strange glowing rings. There were ruins of a lost civilization, machines that still hummed in the wind. A giant underground city, hidden for thousands of years. The humans landed and began to rebuild. They studied the ancient machines and learned new ways to use energy. They built stronger ships, faster engines, and powerful weapons. They trained their people, teaching them to fight in silence, to build without rest, and to remember the betrayal of the past. Years passed, then decades. Then centuries, generations, of humans grew up hearing stories of their lost home, of Earth and the betrayal by the Council. The anger stayed alive in their blood. Every child was taught, one day we will return. Commander Rylos, now an old man, saw his people rise. New colonies were built on hidden worlds. Giant space stations floated in the void. Massive war fleets moved in secret. And then they found something no one expected. Deep within a ruined planet's core, human explorers uncovered an ancient vault. Inside were strange devices and star maps older than any known race. Records spoke of the architects, a species that had ruled the galaxy before any other. They had left behind technology that could bend space, hide entire planets, and tear apart suns. The humans took these secrets and made them their own. Their ships grew larger, faster, and deadlier. Their weapons could silence enemy fleets in seconds. They built a network of hidden bases and colonies, stretching across dead systems and unclaimed space that no one noticed them. The Galactic Council believed the outer rim was empty. Their scouts never returned. Merchant ships told ghost stories of dark shapes and strange signals. But no one listened until now. The humans had finished hiding. A meeting was called aboard the Revenant, the largest human command ship ever built. It was a city of war, a dark steel monster drifting in a nebula cloud. Inside its command hall, the highest human leaders gathered. Commander Rylos, though aged, stood tall before them. "It is time," he said. His voice was calm but sharp like a blade. "For too long we have waited in the shadows. The galaxy forgot us. They believed we died. Now we show them how wrong they are." A cheer rose from the room. "We will not be known as the exiled or the forgotten," Rylos continued. "We are the architects of a new age, an empire born in the void, stronger than any who came before." One of his commanders, Celine, a sharp-eyed woman known for destroying an alien fleet without a single loss, stepped forward. "Our colonies are ready, fleets in position, weapons charged." "Orders, sir?" Rylos smiled. "We send them a message." That very moment, a human stealth ship moved into the center of the galactic trade routes, the place all empires used for communication. It broadcast a simple signal, the same one that reached the council earlier. But now the message changed. We watched. We waited. We never forgot. The void was our forge. The stars, our allies. We are humanity reborn. And we are coming. Panic spread through the Galactic Council's worlds. Small empires near the outer rim began to vanish overnight. Fleets sent to investigate never returned. The Council sent spies, but none made it back. And in the darkness, human war fleets gathered. Ships shaped like ancient beasts, with hulls of black metal and engines that left no trace. They waited for the order to strike. Commander Rylos gave one final command to his people. Let the galaxy hear our name once more. Let them fear it. Let them remember who we are. And the fleets moved. The forgotten race had risen. The age of humanity's empire had begun. Asterisk, the first strike in the heart of the galaxy. The powerful alien empires lived without fear. They ruled over countless planets, commanded huge fleets, and believed nothing could ever challenge them. But they were wrong. At the edge of known space, near the outer rim, a small empire called the Rethari Dominion controlled dozens of star systems. Its leader, Lord Vexer, was proud and cruel. He laughed at the old stories about humans. Old myths, Vexer said. Weak creatures who couldn't survive exile. When news of strange signals and missing patrol ships reached his ears, Vexer dismissed them. He believed it was nothing more than space pirates or system failures. But then, one of his colonies, Ilaris 9, went silent. No distress call. No warning. Nothing. Vexer sent a fleet of 20 warships to investigate. These ships were the pride of the Rethari Dominion, armed with plasma cannons, heavy shields, and skilled pilots. He was certain they could handle anything. The fleet arrived at Ilaris 9 expecting a simple patrol mission. What they found was a nightmare. As they dropped out of hyperspace, the stars around them seemed darker. A thick, unnatural mist hung in space. The planet below was dead silent. Its cities, once shining with lights, were now dark ruins. No life signs, no power. No ships. Then, the sensors picked up movement. At first, it was only one, then dozens, then hundreds. Massive ships, black as night, began to appear on their scanners. Shapes the size of moons. Some shaped like spears, others like beasts with glowing red eyes. Their metal hulls reflected no light. The alien fleet's commander, Admiral Kexer, shouted, "Identify those ships." But the computers failed. Unknown. 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 Before anyone could react, the human fleet moved. Without a sound, without a warning, beams of blue and white light shot from the human warships. They sliced through the Rethari fleet like paper. Giant warships exploded in seconds. Shields were useless. Their weapons barely scratched the black hulls of the enemy. Panic spread through the Rethari ranks. "Retreat! Retreat now!" "Admiral!" Kexer shouted, but it was too late. The human ships surrounded them, moving faster than any alien vessel. One by one, the Rethari ships vanished in bursts of fire. In less than 2 minutes. The proud fleet of 20 warships was gone. The only message broadcasted to the galaxy was a simple, cold sentence. This is your first lesson. Back at the Galactic Council, emergency alarms rang again. The council members gathered in fear. The reports were unbelievable. An entire Rethari fleet destroyed in minutes. No survivors. Impossible. Council leader Drevin slammed his hand on the table. Who did this? Who has weapons like this? Only one voice answered. General Vorkus. He stepped forward, his stone-like face grim. "It's them," he said. "The humans." Some council members refused to believe it. "It can't be. They vanished." But Vorka's eyes were cold. "You fools. You forgot them. But they did not forget us. Fear spread like fire. The council called for reinforcements. Fleets were ordered to guard the borders. Spies sent to search for human bases. But it was already too late. In the darkness of space, the human empire was awake. Their ships moved in. Perfect silence. Colonies began falling, one after another. Empires that resisted vanished overnight. Those who surrendered were allowed to live under strict human control. No one could match their technology. No one could stand against their war. Fleets. On board the Revenant, Commander Rylos watched the galactic map. Small red lights appeared over council worlds. One of his officers spoke. "Another sector has fallen, sir." "Good," Rylos replied, his voice sharp. "Let them learn fear." His second-in-command, Celine, smiled. "They never expected." "US? They never understood us," Rylos said. "But soon they will, Neil." The first strike was over, but it was only the beginning. Asterisk. Fall of the old powers. The galaxy was changing. News of the Rithari fleet's destruction spread like a storm. Empires that once laughed at the idea of humans now sat in fear. Entire planets went silent. Trade routes were abandoned. Merchant ships vanished without a trace. The powerful empires of old, once rulers of a peaceful and organized galaxy, began to crumble. In the Galactic Council, an emergency meeting was called. The Grand Chamber, which once echoed with pride and arrogance, now buzzed with fear. The leaders of every major alien species gathered. Council leader Drevin stood before them, his golden skin pale. "We cannot hide from this any longer," he said. "We face an enemy we don't understand." A large screen flickered to life. It showed dark space, filled with massive human warships moving like a tide of death. Worlds burned in the background. The human ships were faster, smarter, and impossible to track. "What do they want?" Someone shouted. General Vorkus, the only one who had warned them before, stepped forward. "They want what we took from them. Revenge, power, and control." Silence fell over the room. Finally, a nervous ambassador spoke. "Should we send a peace offer?" Vorkus laughed, a sound like grinding stones. "You had your chance centuries ago." But still, the council tried. They sent a message to the human fleet. "We offer peace. Let us talk." The response came within minutes. A single human ship appeared above the council's homeworld. It was massive, larger than any ship ever built by alien hands. It was shaped like a spear, its black surface shining with ghostly blue light. A small shuttle descended from it. Inside the council hall, every leader waited as two human figures entered. They wore long dark coats with silver emblems. Their faces were sharp, eyes cold, showing no fear. The council members could feel it. These were not desperate exiles. These were rulers. The human leader spoke. "I am Commander Rylos," he said simply. "We gave you a chance long ago. You chose betrayal. You buried our name, but we did not die. We built an empire beyond your reach." Council leader Drevin stood, trying to appear brave. "We offer peace, Commander Rylos." Rylos' face stayed, emotionless. "There is no peace," he replied. "There is only the new order." The room filled with angry shouts. Some leaders demanded war. Others begged for mercy. Celine, standing beside Rylos, raised a small device. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared, showing hundreds of human fleets already deep inside council space. "You never saw us coming," she said coldly. "Your colonies are gone. Your fleet's broken. We control your trade routes. Your allies have joined us or vanished." It was true. Across the galaxy, old empires were falling like dried leaves in the wind. The Velker Alliance, known for its powerful dreadnoughts, was gone within a week. Their capital world burned in silence. The Torvin Collective, Masters of plasma weapons surrendered after their main shipyards vanished in a single night. Even the oldest empire, the Votheran Dominion, begged for terms. But Rylos had already made his decision. At the council meeting, he gave them a final offer. You will kneel. Every world, every fleet, every leader will answer to us. The age of the council is over. One proud alien general tried to resist. He pulled a hidden weapon. In a flash, human guards appeared, faster than anyone could react. The general fell, dead before he could speak. No one else moved. The message was clear. The old powers had no choice. Slowly, one by one, the council members lowered their heads in defeat. A new order had begun. The age of the humans had returned. As Commander Rylos and Selene left the chamber, Vorkis watched them carefully. He knew something others did not. This was not the end. In the darkest corners of the galaxy, beyond even the outer rim, ancient things stirred, creatures older than stars, forces long forgotten. And Vorkis wondered if, perhaps even the humans, did not realize what danger was coming. Asterisk, the new order of the galaxy, was no longer the same. Human warships filled the skies of 1,000 worlds. Space stations that once flew the flags of proud alien empires now carried the mark of the human empire, a silver star on a black field. The old Galactic Council was gone. Its leaders either executed, imprisoned, or forced to serve under human command. The age of weak politics and broken promises was over. Now only one law remained: obey or be erased. In every corner of the galaxy, human patrol ships passed through once forbidden sectors. Ancient trade routes reopened under their control. Weapons. Factories worked without rest, building machines of war never seen before. On the planet Alaris Prime, the new capital of the human empire, a massive city of metal and glass rose from the ground. Its spires touched the sky, and its defense cannons could destroy entire fleets with a single shot. At the heart of the city stood the Citadel, a towering black fortress where Commander Rylos ruled. Inside the command hall, Rylos stood before a giant star map. Red lights marked the last few free alien worlds. Soon, even those would fall. Selene entered, her sharp eyes shining. The final resistance fleets have been crushed, Commander. The galaxy belongs to us now. Rylos nodded slowly. It is what we were promised. But deep inside, even Rylos felt something strange. A silence in the stars. As if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Reports had begun to arrive from the farthest sectors. Ancient dead systems where no ships dared go. Human scouts went missing. Warships vanished without a trace. Strange energy readings appeared, older than any known race. Selene spoke carefully. Sir, the outer colonies, something is happening. Rylos turned to her. Explain. She showed him a recording static-filled footage of a human dreadnought drifting in space, its hull torn open. The crew was gone. No signs of a battle. No distress signal. Only one message remained, scratched into the metal wall in old Earth language. They are awake. Rylos frowned. Who? Selene didn't know. No one did. General Vorkis, now an old prisoner in the Citadel, had warned them before. And now, in his cell, he sat in the dark, smiling to himself. Fools, he whispered. You thought you were the greatest danger. But you have only woken the true masters of the void. Far beyond the edge of the galaxy, past the dead stars. And ancient wrecks, something moved. Giant shapes, older than galaxies, with eyes like burning suns. Creatures spoken of in forgotten myths, even by the oldest alien races. They had watched humanity's rise in the darkness. Watched them build, fight, and conquer. And now, they were coming. Back in the Citadel, Rylos gave his final order. Prepare the Empire. Every ship, every soldier, every world. Celine hesitated. Are we at war again? Rylos looked out at the endless stars. No, he said quietly. Now, we fight for survival. The age of the human empire had begun, but the true war was about to start. Asterisk. The shadows beyond the stars, the human empire stood unchallenged. Its warships controlled every sector. Its banners flew over every world, and its name filled both allies and enemies with fear. But far beyond the known galaxy, past dying suns and ancient ruins, something stirred in the darkness. It began with whispers. At first, human patrol ships near the edge of space reported strange signals, words and languages no one understood, old symbols carved into drifting asteroids, ships that seemed to appear and disappear like ghosts. The human commanders dismissed it as malfunctions, until ships started vanishing, entire fleets gone without a trace. Not a single distress call, not a single survivor. In the Citadel, Commander Rylos stood before the star map. Red markers flashed on the outer sectors, showing where contact had been lost. How many now? He asked. Celine's face was pale. 12 fleets, sir. And 4 colonies. Nothing left. No wreckage. No survivors. Rylos clenched his jaw. Show me the last recording. The screen showed a grainy, flickering image from a scout ship. A massive shadow moved between the stars, larger than a planet, its shape impossible to understand. Dozens of glowing red eyes stared out from the void. Then the screen went black. No explosion. No signal. Nothing, Celine whispered. Our weapons didn't even touch it. The energy readings were older than this galaxy itself. For the first time in years, Rylos felt fear. General Vortis, still held prisoner in the deepest cell of the Citadel, smiled when he heard the alarms. They've come, haven't they? He muttered to the guard. The Ancient Ones, the first rulers of the stars. We buried their stories, but they never forgot. Back on the command deck, a young officer ran in. Sir, an unidentified signal approaching Ilaris Prime. Rylos turned sharply. From where? The officer's face turned pale. From outside the galaxy. The entire room fell silent. An image appeared on the main screen. Not words, not numbers, but a symbol. A circle made of fire, with a single eye in the center. Celine spoke, her voice tight. It's not a message. It's a challenge. The human empire's strongest ships were summoned. Every fleet commander recalled to defend the homeworld. Planetary shields powered up. Defense cannons charged. Then, space itself seemed to ripple. A hole opened in the void. Not a wormhole, not a jump gate. A wound in reality. And from it came a single figure. It was no ship. No living creature. It was a thing made of shadows and light, tall as a mountain, its form shifting like smoke. It spoke no words, but every human on every world heard its voice in their minds. We were here before your stars were born. You built your empire in our graves. Now you answer to us. In an instant, a nearby fleet of 30 human warships vanished, torn apart by unseen forces. Rylos gritted his teeth. Prepare every weapon. We hold the line. But in his heart, he knew this was not a war of ships and guns. This was something older. Something greater. Something that might end even the mighty human empire. Asterisk.